Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Thiago Silva spoke highly about Gabriel Martinelli. Arsenal fans would have been over the moon to see Takahiro Tomiyasu shock Germany at the World Cup yesterday. It's been a positive start to the tournament for Gunners' stars, with Bukayo Saka stealing the headlines for England. Speaking to the Mirror, Chelsea defender Thiago Silva has raved about another of Arsenal's young talents, Gabriel Martinelli. Brazil manager Tite has a huge selection of attacking talent to choose from. That would be the envy of any country. Thiago Silva has been particularly positive about Gabriel Martinelli, who he thinks is a special player. Martinelli was a bit of a surprise inclusion in the squad, having been left out by Tite in September. However, his form for Arsenal meant he forced his way into the squad ahead of the likes of Liverpool's Roberto Firmino. Speaking to the Mirror about Arsenal's Brazilian forwards, Thiago Silva said, "You can see the connection they have had this season with Arsenal. It's a big reason why they are top of the Premier League. Gabriel Jesus, we have known about his quality for a long time, but Martinelli is really showing what he is about. He is playing without fear, and if he gets the chance to play, I don't think it will faze him, and he will just do what we know he can do. I think all attacking players at the top level need that little bit of arrogance, that they know they can do something special, and he has that." Martinelli will wear the number 26 for Brazil in Qatar this month. This suggests he might sit further down the pecking order right now. Joey Cole has backed him to be one of the stars of the World Cup in 4 years' time, but he will be hoping to make a more immediate impact. He has already been impressing his international teammates with his finishing in training. Martinelli is clearly a special player. He could get his opportunity against Serbia today to show it on the biggest stage. Matt Turner praises Arsenal star Bukayo Saka before World Cup game. Matt Turner has labelled Bukayo Saka one of the young stars of world football and claimed that his Arsenal teammate has the ability to change any game he is involved in comments reported by ESPN. The USA are gearing up to face England in their second game of the World Cup group stages on Friday. It is a particularly important tie for Greg Berhalter's side after they conceded a late goal in their draw with Wales. Turner produced an impressive performance, making one particularly impressive save from Ben Davies, but he is probably going to have to be at his very best if he is going to keep England at bay. The Three Lions opened their account with a 6-2 win over Iran, and Saka was one of the stars of the show, scoring twice. Of course, Saka is someone Turner knows well, following the latter's move to the Emirates in the summer, and he explained how impressed he has been by the 21-year-old ahead of facing him this week. He said, "I think it's pretty clear. He is one of the young stars of world football," he said, as reported by ESPN. "He is a top player, and I think you don't need me to tell anybody on our team how much of a threat that he possesses in the game. He is scoring goals in a variety of ways. He is really developed, mature. He has gotten stronger from what I understand. I have only worked with him for a few months. I am looking forward to playing against familiar faces. I think he is a really good player that can change any game that he takes part in." Saka has been remarkable ever since making his debut for the Gunners. He has cleared every hurdle put in front of him, and now he is one of the most important players for club and country. No Arsenal player has had a direct hand in more goals in the Premier League so far this season. The problem for the US is that Saka is not the only major threat. Harry Kane will be desperate to get off the mark for the tournament. Meanwhile, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford have a point to prove after not starting against Iran. Arsenal star Fabio Vieira shines and scores in defeat for Portugal U21s. Fabio Vieira was in fine form for the Portugal U21s in their game against Japan, despite ending up on the losing side. The midfielder joined the Gunners at the start of the season and is working hard to become an established member of their first team. Mikel Arteta likes him, and the Arsenal gaffer has been trusting him with minutes in some key games. Also, he was one of the best players in the Portuguese top flight last season. He still plays for their under-21s as he waits to break into the senior team. The midfielder was one of the best players on the pitch and scored a penalty in the match, as reported by Arsenal media, but they still lost 2-1 with Nuno Tavares also playing. Afterwards, Vieira said, "We knew that Japan had a good team with quality players, very aggressive. In the first half, we were poorly organized. The second half was different, and we adjusted a little, pressed when we had to press, and continued to look for the depth. But unfortunately, Japan got the win." It is nice to see Vieira get some playing minute for his country in this break because that will keep him in shape. When other players start returning next month, he will not be badly out of condition because of a lack of action. Trossard's representatives reveals he snubbed Arsenal for Brighton in 2019. Arsenal has been linked with a move for Leandro Trossard this season as he shines on the books of Brighton. The Belgian has become one of the finest attackers in the Premier League and the clubs want to add him to their squad. Arsenal is one of them, but he could have joined them sooner, and it has been revealed they wanted him when he played in the Belgian top flight. He moved to Brighton in 2019. But Arsenal had been chasing his signature long before then. The Gunners also wanted to sign him in that summer, but he joined the Seagulls instead. A representative of the attacker has revealed now it happened. Josie Comher said via Sport Witness, "Potter came to Brussels especially for Leandro with an extensive PowerPoint presentation to convince him he absolutely wanted him. There were other options. In the same period, I had several conversations with Arsenal. They came to Belgium 4 times. I will give you a note. Most players would have chosen Arsenal. But what would have happened if Leandro didn't get to play? Then there is only one way out, to take a step back. People don't realize what that does in someone's head." Trossard has become one of the finest players in the Premier League now, and he could have been delivering these fine performances on our books if we had signed him. However, he probably could have flopped at the Emirates like Albert Sambi Lokonga has done, because we are a much bigger club. Arsenal likely to be interested in Douglas Luiz in January. Journalist Ben Jacobs has told Give Me Sport that he expects Arsenal to be interested in Douglas Luiz again in January after the Gunners attempted to sign the Aston Villa star on deadline day in the summer. January is going to be crucial for Mikel Arteta's men. They now have an opportunity to achieve something special, and with that, they will set their sights on a couple of significant signings to bolster the squad. Of course, they could have already had an additional player through the door had events on deadline day played out differently. The Guardian reported that Arsenal made 2 bids for Luiz just before the window shut. The latter offer was worth £25 million. However, Villa dug their heels in. Shortly after, it seemed that the villains had shut the door on Arsenal signing Luiz altogether. The club confirmed in October that the Brazilian had signed a new long-term contract at Villa Park, but that does not appear to have put Arsenal off. It does seem that the Gunners need greater depth in the middle of the park, and Jacobs has suggested that he accepts Arsenal to go back in for the 24-year-old. He went on to say, "Arsenal still would like to strengthen in the midfield area, for sure. I think that Douglas Luiz will be on their radar once again. We know that they tried to get him towards the end of the summer window." Of course, much has changed at Villa since Luiz signed a new contract. Former Arsenal boss Unai Emery has come in as Steven Gerrard's successor, and Villa appear to be moving up the table again. Luiz has been a key part of the early stages of Emery's tenure, so you would imagine that his asking price may well be even higher. He is an unbelievable player, but that new deal leaves Arsenal in a difficult position. Surely, they are going to need Luiz to make it clear that he wants to go if the Gunners are to stand a chance. Journalist says, Mudryk was impressed by Arteta's Aubameyang decision at Arsenal. Football journalist Dina Jones reveals that Mykhailo Mudryk has been very impressed by Arsenal's turnaround and the way Mikel Arteta handled the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang situation. The Gunners finished 8th in each of Arteta's first 2 seasons in charge. A number of people called for him to be sacked, but Arsenal's owners stuck by him, and they are now reaping the rewards. The North Londoners are currently on top of the Premier League table, 5 points clear of Manchester City. Mudryk is apparently really impressed. Shakhtar star Mudryk is a wanted man. The Ukraine has been incredible since the start of this season, scoring 10 goals and providing 8 assists for his club in just 18 appearances in all competitions. That is an excellent return for someone who is still only 21. And it's no surprise at all that Arsenal are said to be interested in signing him in the January transfer window. Jones has now claimed that Mudryk is very keen to join the Gunners after being impressed with how Arteta handled the whole Aubameyang situation. The journalist told Give Me Sport, "I think he could join Arsenal in January. I don't think there is any doubt that he is already keen on this move. He is being impressed by the turnaround that they have made at the club, the fact that they made a big decision to ditch Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and move towards having faith in different kinds of players that will have impressed him." When Aubameyang became a problem for Arteta at Arsenal, the Spaniard decided that enough was enough. He stripped the Gabon star of his captaincy and axed him from his squad. Arsenal have looked so much better since. They seem like genuine title contenders now, and although they may end up coming second best to Manchester City, they are now a very attractive option for talented players. Mudryk, branded as unstoppable, is a very exciting talent. He has all the qualities to become a top player in the coming years, and he is desperate for a big move in January. It will be interesting to see if Arsenal can strike a deal with Shakhtar for their star man. David Seaman says Cristiano Ronaldo would be perfect for Arsenal. Arsenal legend David Seaman has claimed that Portugal superstar Cristiano Ronaldo would be perfect for Mikel Arteta's side. The 37-year-old, branded as incredible by Alan Shearer, parted ways with Manchester United this week. His explosive interview with Arsenal fan Piers Morgan made it clear that he wasn't happy at Old Trafford, and his wish to leave the club was granted very quickly. Now Ronaldo, who will play for Portugal at the World Cup today, is a free agent. Arsenal are currently 5 points clear of defending champions Manchester City in the Premier League table. Mikel Arteta has done a remarkable job at the Emirates, but if he wants his side to stay where they are until the end of the campaign, they will need some help in the January transfer window. Edu Gaspar will surely be on the lookout for options to strengthen Arsenal. A couple of world-class players could really help them go all the way, and Seaman believes Ronaldo would be the perfect signing. The legendary Englishman sat down for a chat with Morgan, who has been very vocal about his desire to see Ronaldo in an Arsenal shirt. Seaman appears to have a similar opinion. He said on Talk TV, as quoted by The Sun, "Ronaldo is far from done, and he would be perfect for Arsenal. I would applaud him because he is obviously talking the truth. A lot of the stuff he came out with is not stuff we haven't heard. We have heard a lot of other experienced players moaning and criticizing Man United for the way the ground is and the training. That shocked me, and that shouldn't be happening. He's been all around the world and seen how everywhere has progressed, and he comes back to his beloved Man United and nothing has changed. There was a lot of stuff in the interview that I didn't know about the way he had been treated." If any club in the world was offered a chance to sign Ronaldo for free at any point in the last 15 years, they would have likely jumped at that opportunity. Things, however, are very different now, and the last club we expect to make a move for the Portuguese superstar is Arteta's Arsenal. The Spaniard has worked incredibly hard to get rid of the likes of Mesut Ozil, Matteo Guendouzi, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The last thing he needs now is someone like Ronaldo, who could cause similar or worse problems of the pitch than the above three. We are sure there is a small section of the Arsenal fanbase who would take Ronaldo to boost the club's chances of winning the Premier League this season. However, we just can't see Arteta even considering him as an option. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.